When you think MicroStrategy, you think Bitcoin, right? Michael Saylor and his company have become legendary for their relentless, all-in strategy. But what if there's more to it than just stacking sats? Today, we're diving into how their quest for what they call digital capital might have accidentally led them to create something entirely new: digital credit.
All right, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to look at the sheer scale of what MicroStrategy has been doing. It's pretty wild. Then, we'll unpack this core idea of digital credit. After that, we'll run some of the high speculation math on a related venture. And finally, we'll ask the big question: have they stumbled upon the perfect financial product?
So to really get what's happening now, you have to understand the philosophy that started this whole thing. Their entire strategy, everything they do, is built on one single, powerful conviction. This quote from Michael Saylor, it's not just a nice saying, it's literally their entire playbook in 6 words. It means a relentless, long-term focus, completely tuning out all the noise of the day-to-day price swings. It's all about that finish line, way out on the horizon.
And wow, has his marathon caught Wall Street's attention. The result? Absolutely insane liquidity. I mean, just look at this chart. MicroStrategy's average trading volume just dwarfs even the biggest names in tech. We're talking 3 times the volume of Tesla and nearly 10 times the other giants. That's what happens when your strategy captures the market's imagination.
And the scale of this marathon it's just hard to wrap your head around. Since August of 2020, the company's been buying Bitcoin at an average clip of $30 million per day. For years. And they're doing it with zero operational overhead for the acquisition itself. It's just a relentless pace.
This aggressive buying has totally transformed the company. Supporters in the source material now call it a balance sheet fortress. The idea is that it's a company built on what they believe is the most pristine form of capital that has ever existed.
Okay, so they bought a ton of Bitcoin. But how does that turn into something more? This is where the story gets really interesting, where the strategy starts to evolve from just holding an asset to actually creating a brand new product.
And this right here, this is the core thesis from the source material. It carves out this really powerful distinction. Owning Bitcoin itself, that's about owning digital capital. But owning the financial machine built on top of it, MicroStrategy, well, that's about owning the future of digital credit.
So what in the world is digital credit? Well, think of it as a financial product they basically had to invent. They needed a way to fund their Bitcoin buying for the long haul, but traditional financial tools were just too shaky when backed by something as volatile as Bitcoin. So they just created their own.
This slide just perfectly captures that massive shift in strategy. You see, for years, credit was just a tool, a tactic to buy more Bitcoin and pump up the equity. But then they had this huge realization, an inversion in their business model. They realized that credit itself could be the main product.
And the crazy part is they kind of stumbled into it by accident. It's a classic bug becomes a feature story. They went to the market to raise money and hit a wall. The market wanted a way higher yield than they expected. At first, that seems like a bug, right? But then it clicked. What if that high yield wasn't a bug at all? What if it was a feature that made their credit the most attractive in the world? So this new model, it's basically a blueprint now that others are starting to copy. And it has sparked some absolutely wild speculation, especially around a smaller, similar company called Meta-Planet.
Proponents are looking at Meta-Planet and seeing this glaring opportunity. Because its market cap is so small, some of the financial modeling from the source material is projecting some truly massive exponential growth potential.
Okay, now this is where the math gets a little nuts. And remember, this is a model, right? Not a crystal ball. But just look at these projections from the source. In a 1-year scenario, if Bitcoin hits $160,000, this model projects a potential 10x return on the stock.
But that 8-year scenario, that's the one that gets all the attention. If Bitcoin hits $1 million and a few other targets are met, the model projects a potential 102x return. That's a 10,000% gain. It's just a staggering number to even think about.
Now, obviously, we have to put a big asterisk here. The source material is super clear about this. This is all speculative modeling. It is not financial advice. And it all hinges on a deeply, deeply bullish outlook for Bitcoin. It's really just an intellectual exercise in what could be possible.
And all of this whole journey, it leads us to a really provocative question, maybe the most important one from our source material. In creating this digital credit, did they accidentally invent the perfect financial product?
Even Michael Saylor himself is posing this question. He's basically asking, what if we've stumbled upon the holy grail of finance?
something that offers a massive yield, but in a structure where the usual risks have been engineered away.
So what makes it so special? Well, it's this unique combination of features. First, yeah, the yield is huge, up to 21% on a tax-equivalent basis. But here's the real kicker. It's heavily over-collateralized. We're talking 4.2 times collateral. That is virtually unheard of in traditional credit markets. And get this, they're pulling all this off while keeping MicroStrategy's own leverage incredibly low. The company itself is only about 1.1 times levered.
To really understand what that 1.1x means, just think back to 2008. When Lehman Brothers went down, they were leveraged somewhere between 30 and 50 times. This is a completely different universe of risk we're talking about. So that's really the big question we're left with, isn't it? Is this a revolutionary financial innovation, a perfect product that could redefine credit for a new age? Or is it just the biggest, most complex, most sophisticated wager on the future of Bitcoin ever made? Honestly, only time will tell.